Hello, English learners, and welcome back to the Let's Talk English Podcast. I'm Emily. We're really happy you're here with us today. In this podcast, we talk about real everyday English. We help you learn useful words and phrases for daily life. Okay, let's unpack this. We've pulled together some really interesting material for this deep dive. It focuses on something central to everyone's life, and definitely central to learning English time.
Yeah, it's fascinating how it works on two levels, isn't it? We get practical language tools, for dealing with time challenges like deadlines, but it also makes us think about the bigger picture, the actual value of time itself, its language and a life concept.
Exactly. So our mission today is basically to pull out the most useful English bits for you, especially for talking about schedules, delays, that kind of thing. And then we'll explore some of the bigger ideas here about making the most of your time. For life, sure, but also really relevant for your English learning. So let's start with a specific situation we looked at. It's a conversation. Someone named Casey, she's clearly having trouble finishing a work project on schedule.
Right, and the project is putting together photos for a press kit. The material explains this. A press kit is basically a ready-made info pack. Pictures, logos, company details, all prepared for media like newspapers or magazines.
Ah, okay. Like a shortcut for journalists.
Exactly. A useful term to know.
Definitely. So Casey's behind on getting these photos done, and her boss, not happy. You can feel the tension. This whole exchange is a great example of how people in English discuss delays, ask for more time, navigate that awkwardness.
And the sources immediately pull out some key vocabulary, words that, they just pop up constantly in these kinds of situations.
First one, the big one, the one that causes so much stress, deadline. Defined simply as the last possible date or time to get something done. Homework, work projects, paying bills. We all know deadlines, the absolute final moment.
And if you realize you can't make that deadline or reach it, you might need an extension.
Right. Asking for more time, pushing that deadline out a bit. Now, a brilliant phrase for explaining why you might need that extension is ran into. The sources make a point here. You say, I ran into some problems, not I met some problems.
Correct. That's a common mistake. Run into implies you encountered something unexpectedly, usually difficulties. Like the examples given, we ran into a storm, or I ran into some trouble with my computer. It just sounds much more natural in English.
Good point. And the last key word here, delayed. Simple, but essential.
Yeah, the opposite of on time.
Your flight can be delayed, a meeting, or like in Casey's case, the project is delayed. Fundamental stuff for talking about schedules.
But it's not just single words, is it? The material also highlights some really, really useful phrases from that conversation between Casey and her boss.
Yeah, the first one that jumped out at me was, I've been meaning to talk to you. Or just, I've been meaning to.
Ah, yes. Casey uses this, right?
She does. It's how she starts that difficult conversation. It signals, that you've been thinking about doing something, maybe planning it, but just haven't quite gotten around to it yet.
Shows intention over time, but no action yet. The examples are perfect. I'm sorry I haven't called. I've been meaning to.
But I've been busy, or I've been meaning to see that film. We use this all the time.
We do. Very natural.
Then there's Casey's explanation for the delay. She uses the phrase, beyond my control.
Another crucial one. This basically means you couldn't do anything about it. It wasn't your fault.
Exactly. It shifts the responsibility slightly. Casey implies, her coworker being sick, the lost files, those things were outside her influence.
Right. The weather is another classic example people use. It's beyond our control.
And then flipping to the boss's side, he uses the phrase, put this off.
Ah, yes. To put something off means to delay it, postpone it, leave it for later.
It implies a choice, usually. Like, I've been putting off doing my taxes, or can we put off the meeting till next week?
Yeah, actively deciding to delay. All really useful practical phrases for everyday English, especially at work or when managing tasks.
Now, speaking of reasons for delay, the material touches on Casey's specific reasons. Booking the photographer, the colleague sick for 3 whole weeks, the design team losing files.
Which leads into a really interesting point the sources raise. Are these solid reasons, or are they maybe excuses?
We've all been there, right? Trying to explain why something isn't done. The material even mentions the classic, my dog ate my homework.
Oh yeah, or the cat. And those lunketer ones like alien abduction or mail going to Africa, it just shows how universal this is. finding reasons or maybe excuses.
And sometimes things genuinely are beyond your control, like that coworker being out sick for weeks. That's a real issue.
True, but distinguishing between a genuine, unavoidable problem and just an excuse.
Yeah.
That's something we all navigate.
Okay, so we've got the language down, the words and phrases for talking about deadlines, delays, extensions, reasons.
Ran into, put off, beyond my control.
Exactly. But these sources then pivot. They ask us to zoom out and think about time itself.
Which makes sense, right? Because the whole reason we stress about deadlines and delays is because time feels valuable. It is valuable.
Yeah, the material presents it as one of our most precious resources, maybe the most precious.
And it makes that powerful point.
Right.
Rich or poor, young or old, everyone gets the same 24 hours a day. The difference is purely how we use it.
And unlike money, you can't earn back lost time. Once it's gone, it's gone. That really hits home.
So why is it so fundamentally important? What do the sources say?
Well, it's described as like the foundation of everything, the silent clock ticking behind our lives. It gives structure. Every day is framed as a fresh chance to grow, learn, achieve things, connect. So understanding its value means realizing every moment really does count.
And the flip side is wasting time is wasting opportunities. And some opportunities, well, they might not come around again.
It definitely makes you pause and think, doesn't it? How mindful are you really about how you spend your time each day?
But here's the good news. The sources emphasize that managing time is a skill. It's learnable.
Right, not some innate talent. You can get better at it with practice.
And good time management. It helps you get more done, yes, but also reduces stress, creates more space to actually enjoy life.
So how do we do it? The material offers 6 pretty clear strategies. First, set goals.
Crucial. You need to know where you're heading. And the key is making them specific.
Right, not just learn English, but maybe learn 10 new vocabulary words today or practice speaking for 15 minutes. Clear targets.
Then number 2, make a plan, like a map to reach those goals. Write down the steps. Prioritize what's most important.
Okay, number 3, avoid procrastination, described here as the enemy of time.
We all know that enemy. Putting things off just makes them seem bigger and harder. The advice, just start, even a tiny step, now.
Good advice. 4th, learn to say no. This is a tough one for many people.
It really is. But saying yes to everything just drains your time and energy, pulling you away from your priorities. Saying no protects your focus.
Makes sense. 5th, use tools. Don't try to keep it all in your head.
Right. Calendars, timers, to-do lists, simple things that keep you organized, remind you, help you track progress.
And finally, number 6, maybe surprisingly, take breaks.
Yes. It's not about nonstop work. Breaks are essential. They let you rest, recharge, and actually improve your focus when you return to the task. Balance is key.
And here's a part I found really motivating. The idea that big achievements come from small, consistent steps.
Oh, that example is great. Reading just 1 page a day seems tiny, but it adds up to 365 pages a year, a whole book.
Exactly. It's the power of compounding, applied to time and effort. Small actions done regularly build into something significant.
And this applies so directly to learning English, doesn't it? Those 15 minutes of daily practice might feel small, but over a year, that's a lot of learning.
It really is. And the sources point out many successful people credit good time management. They just use their hours differently.
But time isn't only about tasks and achievement. It's also about connection.
Yes, that was a lovely reminder. Spending quality time with family, with friends that strengthens bonds, brings happiness. It shows them they matter to you.
And learning itself, of course, requires time. Whether it's a language, a skill, or self-discovery, it's a process. You have to invest the time to see results.
Which brings us to the idea of regret, looking back and wishing you'd used your time differently.
To avoid that, the challenge is being conscious now, today. How are you using your time? Is it moving you forward? Is it connecting you with loved ones?
So the final thought, really, is that time is, well, it's everything, in a way, our most valuable resource.
It's free, but priceless. Can't own it, but you can use it. Can't keep it, but you can spend it, hopefully wisely.
How you choose to spend it really determines the quality of your life, your learning, everything. Every moment is a chance.
To work on a dream, connect with someone, learn something new, or even just rest and recharge.
Time waits for no one.
So the message is clear. Make every moment count.
Wow, okay. What a journey. From asking for an extension in English.
Using phrases like ran into problems or put it off.
all the way to thinking about time as this fundamental, priceless resource. We covered key vocabulary, useful phrases.
Looked at reasons versus excuses,
Right.
why time matters so much for goals, relationships, learning.
And those 6 practical tips: setting goals, planning, fighting procrastination, saying no, using tools, and taking breaks.
So you've got language tools and maybe some new ways to think about managing your own time.
Definitely food for thought. Think about your goals, maybe your English learning, maybe a project you're working on.
Which leads to a final question for you to think about this week. Based on all this, what's maybe one small, specific thing you could do starting today or tomorrow to use your time a little more intentionally, perhaps applying it directly to your English practice?
Keep practicing the language. Keep thinking about those 24 hours. Thanks for diving deep with us today.